Wells Fargo. Our support of Aggie students goes beyond just banking. By supporting News 22, we're giving back to the community. Wells Fargo. Together, we'll go far.
Tonight on News 22, we check on school security following last week's shooting in Florida.
Shelby Montgomery brings us updates on downtown Las Cruces development.
And NMSU is putting on one play that should take you into another world.
All that and more on News 22 Thursday.
Serving southern New Mexico, this is the award-winning KRWG-TV News 22, where news matters.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Alyssa Tejas.
And I'm Celina Quintana. After the latest school shooting in Florida, school officials and police are paying closer attention to perceived threats.
There have been threats against Las Cruces schools, but investigations show they're not credible. But even if they're not credible, they do cause worry. Police spokesman Dan Trujillo says if you hear of a threat, be careful about what you do next.
The hugger? The first person who learns of a threat, that person should, instead of posting something on social media, call 911, call police, or let your school officials know, school administrators know of the perceived threat. That's what they should do. Don't share it on Facebook or Twitter or any other platform. Just call police and let them know.
Students at Las Cruces High School are safe today after they went into lockdown yesterday. The school was locked down after administrators were alerted to a Snapchat photo. It showed a student from Las Cruces High holding a rifle and joking about being a school shooter. Police arrested 18-year-old ERNEST Padilla after they found a butterfly knife and brass knuckles in his possession. Padilla was booked into Doña Ana County Jail and was initially held without bond. A week after school shooting in Parkland, Florida claimed 17 lives.
Many from the community are finding comfort in makeshift memorial outside Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. Katrina Bush reports.
A temporary fence put up on the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas campus surrounding the school building that was turned into a crime scene last week by a gunman who would claim 17 lives.
No parent should send your kid to school and not know if they're going to come back home. That's all. My daughter's in school right now. I don't know if she's going to come back home.
Renata Montero is one of dozens spending some of their time Thursday morning at the memorials outside the high school. Teachers and staff members will be back on this campus Friday morning.
Would you go back? Would you be able to go back in there? Would you? Would you be able to step your foot inside that building? Know that 17 people died in there? Nobody would be able to go back in there. Nobody.
Outside the school, the visitors keep coming.
I was going for a walk, pay my respects.
Stoneman Douglas sophomore Hunter Dubois will be back in class next week.
I'm guessing it's going to be a slow first couple days. I don't think they're going to be pushing work that much. I think for the first couple days, it's just going to be talking about what happened and healing from it. How I would like to heal is actually get everything, I know it sounds a bit weird, but get everything back to normal, so I can't wait to go back.
After the recent shooting in Florida, schools all around the country are tightening up on security.
News 22's Shelby Kapp checked out the security here on the NMSU campus. Here's what she found.
You can see flags at half staff here at New Mexico State University Police Department in honor of those who lost their life in Florida. NMSU Police Chief Stephen Lopez says the campus alert system is one of the best. If there is an active shooter on campus, an emergency alert will come to everyone's NMSU email or via text if you have signed up for it.
Is getting it to display on every computer that is running on the NMSU campus, such as if somebody's doing a PowerPoint in a class, it would actually change what's being displayed on the PowerPoint and put up the emergency message.
He says that students are a key factor in staying safe and helping others in the case of an active shooter.
If you hear or see the obvious, and you hear somebody shooting, you see somebody that's killing people, don't look at your phone and go, I haven't got a message yet. I don't know if I should do something. You take that immediate action, because sometimes those messages come minutes later and people can be hurt or killed during those crucial minutes.
Lopez says that the best line of defense in the case of an active shooter is the run, hide, fight strategy, a strategy created by the Department of Homeland Security. If you are able to evacuate the area, do so. Leave the area even if others do not want to. Leave your belongings behind. Then call 911. If you are unable to run and evacuate the area, the next step is to hide. And if you are unable to run or hide, then fight. Students here at NMSU feel that the run, hide, fight strategy is an effective one.
They're looking for soft targets, and the harder you make yourself to be a soft target, the better chance you have of surviving that incident.
Lopez says the campus should be getting safer because the student government convinced the legislature to appropriate $250,000 to install security cameras around campus. If you're interested in learning more about what to do in the case of an active shooter, you can visit nmsupolice.com. Or if you are part of a student organization, the NMSU Police can set up training seminars with your group. Shelby Kapp, News 22.
Talking about around campus, it was pretty chilly today.
Oh, I know. My allergies have been picking up because of it.
Yeah, well, here's Andres with our next look at weather.
Thank you, Celina. All right, let's take a look at our current conditions. Today we had clear skies with a temperature of 53 degrees, winds hitting us at 12 miles per hour from the west direction, humidity at 27%, and dew point at 18 degrees. Barometer reads at 30.04 inches. And for today, we hit a high of 59 degrees with an overnight low of 30 degrees, making our average 45 degrees. Back in the year of 2017, we hit an all-time high of 76 degrees, and in 1964, we hit an all-time low of 12 degrees. Today, we didn't see any rain, but our yearly rainfall still sits at 0.12 inches. That's all I have for our current conditions. Back to Celina and Alyssa at the desk.
The last remaining member of a Las Cruces burglary ring is no longer on the run. 28-year-old Andres Espinosa turned himself in on Tuesday, one day after his partners in crime were arrested. Police say that Espinosa, along with 4 other people, were responsible for that string of robberies that hit Las Cruces over the last few months. The property has been returned to their owners, and Espinosa is currently sitting at a Doña Ana County jail. The Las Cruces police officer who killed a fleeing suspect on Saturday says he feared for his life as the investigation into the shooting goes on. On Saturday, 23-year-old Nathaniel Montoya was shot and killed by Las Cruces police at the Valero gas station after police say he pulled out a modified handgun. Officers were not wearing body cameras, and there's no clear video showing the incidents of that day. Las Cruces Police Chief Patrick Gallagher said the investigation is still in its early stages, and it's described to be as complex. The officer who shot Montoya has since been placed on administrative leave, which is standard procedure.
Have a cup of coffee with a cop. The Las Cruces Police Department is teaming up with the Doña Ana County Sheriff's Office and the Ronald McDonald House of El Paso to host a free coffee with a cop and Ident-a-Child event Saturday at Washington Federal Bank. The event will be held from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Students can also bring their children for a free identification card and fingerprints.
Las Cruces is looking forward to a new film studio opening next month. A nonprofit group called Film Las Cruces is building it. The studio is for production and workforce training. The 74,000 square foot studio will be able to accommodate all sizes of film production, from major motion pictures, television series, independent films, and commercials. Doña Ana County College will provide the space and classes for production safety. New Mexico's largest film union will be providing grant money and equipment. Downtown Las Cruces is seeing some big changes, from road construction to a new stage.
News 22's Shelby Montgomery talks to one local business owner who is making a difference for downtown, one building at a time.
A band rocks out at the farmers market. This is what it looks like on a Saturday morning, but it's not always full of the hustle and bustle. So one local lawyer is doing his part to bring downtown back to life every day of the week.
Plus, I'd like the idea of just helping it be like really exciting and vibrant and bringing young people like you down here to come downtown and enjoy downtown.
Joe Coronado owns a business downtown, and he recently decided to leave and rent it out to someone else.
To do that, I always thought it'd be really cool to have a brewery or restaurants right downtown, and I had thought about doing it myself, but it's a lot of work.
Construction has already begun in the building right behind me, and in just a few months, you'll be able to enjoy a cold brew.
It's right across from this amazing plaza, you know, this huge, gorgeous area. And what would go better here than a great pub, tavern, you know?
Little Toad Creek Brewery is bringing their Silver City business straight to downtown. Here's a look at what the brewery might look like. It offers an outdoor patio and lots of places to sit and enjoy their homemade brew. But what about the food?
We've been in contact with some of the local food trucks.
Soon, this parking lot will be filled with a variety of local food trucks to choose from. Shelby Montgomery, News 22.
If you live or work around downtown Las Cruces, you may need to adjust your commute. Starting February 26th, Main Street at the intersection of Griggs Avenue will be closed at least 3 weeks for road construction. Northbound traffic on Main Street will be detoured onto either Bowman Avenue or Church Street. Southbound traffic will be detoured onto Las Cruces Avenue or Water Street, depending on where you're going.
Stay tuned. Andres will be back with your national forecast.
But first, the NMSU wants to take you on an odyssey. More on that when News 22 continues.
I'm Nora Michaud, Program Manager for KRWG. Sewing with Nancy continues the tradition of bringing the best in contemporary sewing, quilting, and home decorating ideas to public television viewers. Join Nancy Zeman and her guests as they share the love of the sewing arts by exploring the latest ideas in one of the country's most popular crafts. Tune in Wednesdays at 2:30 p.m. as we sew together some new ideas. For more programming information, visit krwg.org.
At a recent KRWG coffee visit, we talked with KRWG fans about why they value public media.
Public media is really essential for bringing in new ideas and different perspectives.
That I have access in what is considered a rural community. It's really important to me.
Become a member online at krwg.org or call 1-888-922-5794. Thank you.
Welcome back. You're watching News 22 Thursday,
where news matters. At least one more Mexican gray wolf is roaming the Southwest, U.S. wildlife officials said Wednesday that lower survival rates among pups are the main reason for the lack of strong growth in the population.
The annual survey documented 114 wild wolves in Arizona and New Mexico. The latest figure includes 26 pups that survived throughout 2017. In 2016, the number of surveying pups was nearly double that. Officials say the numbers were not what they hoped for. According to the survey, there are 22 packs with at least 51 wolves in New Mexico and 63 wolves in Arizona. If you still have a couple of days to catch the latest performance of the New Mexico State's Theater of Arts. It's the Odyssey, an ancient story adapted from the poem by Homer. It has sea monsters, shipwrecks, gods, goddesses, and the Cyclops.
So the Odyssey is the story of Odysseus as he tries to travel home after the Trojan War. It is a traditional Greek story, but it's an adaptation that we're doing.
The last performance is this Sunday. The next performance is the musical Rent. Stay tuned for times. Doña Ana County College is cleaning up smiles today. DACC held its first dental clinic called Happy Smiles. The clinic was free to the public. DACC dental faculty, dental students were all part of the clinic. It's offered to dental services like cleanings, x-rays, and teeth whitening. This clinic was made for people without dental insurance, especially for kids.
There is a lack of support, there is a lack of dental insurance. Patients and especially children around the community in Las Cruces don't have dental insurance or have very low access to care. So having this particular clinic is important.
Clinics like these are needed here because New Mexico is ranked #1 in child poverty. So most children are without dental insurance. Millions of people have osteoporosis.
But the chronic and often painful condition can be prevented. In today's Health Minute, we explain the steps you can take to strengthen your bones.
It's never too early to start thinking about preventing osteoporosis. That's the message from doctors at Johns Hopkins University. Researchers there say about 54 million Americans have osteoporosis, a gradual thinning of the bones. That low bone density can lead to fractures. Women generally have lower bone density than men, and a drop in estrogen levels can lead to an increased risk of osteoporosis. Johns Hopkins says 50% of American women age 50 or older will break a bone because of the condition, but experts say there are things that can help prevent osteoporosis, like healthy eating. Eat foods rich in calcium to get the recommended intake for your age, or consider a supplement to fill in the gap. The same goes for protein. Don't skimp on that either. It can be found in both animal and non-animal sources. While we know exercise has a range of benefits, it's also good for bone health. Experts recommend weight-bearing and resistant exercises to get the maximum benefit. Finally, just make some positive lifestyle changes. That includes maintaining a healthy weight, getting rid of those cigarettes, and cutting back on alcohol consumption. I'm Nicola Verrett with today's Health Minute.
I wonder what weather is like around the country.
Me too. Here's Andres with your weather.gov national forecast.
Thanks, Celina. Let's take a look at our national forecast. As you can see, our neighboring city, El Paso, hit a high of 61 degrees. Down in the west coast, San Francisco at 53 degrees. And up north in Chicago, 40 degrees. On to our next map. We're going to take a look at some southern cities down the Mississippi Valley. They are expected to see some thunderstorms throughout Saturday. As you can see, Little Rock and Shreveport are going to take most of the severe hit, causing some floodings, road delays, and travel delays. Well, that's all I have for our national forecast. Stay tuned for local temperatures after the break.
One 50-something skateboarder's life reads like a Hollywood script, but it is a very real, incredible story of growing bolder.
Plus, reconnecting with the past by driving a piece of it.
Hope, inspiration, and possibility on the next Growing Bolder.
On the next KRWG Music Spotlight. Las Cruces singer-songwriter Gary Clute.
Saturday at 10 p.m. on KRWG-TV.
My heart keeps going back to Nashville.
Ray Stevens, Cabaret Nashville, really rocks this week with my guest Con Hunley. We sing a duet of a Ray Charles hit, and Con, with the help of the 18 girls, the Hussies, sings She's Not You. And I get to tell the musical story of the baptism of Stumpy McBrown. Come join us.
Saturday at 4:30 p.m. on KRWG-TV.
Welcome back, you guys. Let's take a look at some temperatures in New Mexico. Farmington sits at 22 degrees, Santa Fe at 30 degrees, Gallup 32 degrees, Albuquerque at 44 degrees, Clovis at 46, Socorro at 48 degrees, Ruidoso down to 38 degrees, Roswell 51 degrees, Las Cruces at 53 degrees, and Deming 47 degrees. Tomorrow, Farmington should look at a high of 30 degrees, Santa Fe at 44 degrees, Gallup at 41 degrees, Albuquerque at 53, Clovis at 64 degrees, Socorro at 59 degrees, Ruidoso down to 51 degrees, Roswell all the way up to 69 degrees, Las Cruces 66, and Deming 62. And down to our neighboring cities, Alamogordo, tonight they should have clear sky, partly cloudy skies with the temperature at 31 degrees. Tomorrow should be sunny skies at 63 degrees. At Truth or Consequences, tonight they should have a temperature at 32 degrees, and tomorrow a high of 61 degrees. In Silver City, cloudy and cool skies tonight at 23 degrees. Tomorrow partly cloudy with a high of 53. Las Cruces down to 30 degrees and a high tomorrow of 66 degrees. Stay tuned for a 5-day forecast. Back to the desk.
A child abuse accusation, a student walkout, and police standoff on the highway.
These are the stories in today's Southwest Minute.
In Arizona, 2 adoptive parents are in custody and accused of child abuse. Police say that Benito and Carol Gutierrez would lock their 4 adoptive children in their bedroom and deny them access to food, water, and sunlight. Police were alerted only after one of the kids escaped the house and called them. Students all over Colorado made their voices heard loud and clear after a day of protest swept over the state. Students in Denver held a walkout and a lie-in at the state capitol, and in Littleton, home of Columbine High School, students marched in the streets to bring attention to the gun bills being discussed today by state lawmakers. And in Texas, a man is in custody after there was a standoff in the middle of the highway near San Antonio. Interstate 35 was shut down and traffic backed up for 3 hours Monday night while police negotiated with the suspect. While they shot beanbags where the suspect was, he surrendered peacefully and was taken to jail. I am Ray Gonzalez, and this is today's Southwest Minute.
So the NMSU baseball team had a tough loss earlier this week.
Oh, I heard about that. Megan Millett is next with sports.
Thanks, guys. Coming up in sports, we'll give you an exclusive interview with Zach Lofton. We'll be right back with News 22 Sports.
The cowboy culture.
Sure.
Is that important to you?
Absolutely. It's a part of our history. It's a part of how the West was found. 150 years after I'm done, I would love for somebody to look at a bit or pair of spurs I've done and go, I have no idea who that was, but that's incredible. That's well done.
Saturday morning at 9:30 on KRWG-TV.
On Masterpiece.
Christmas will always be a time of enchantment.
Would you like to build a snowman?
A snowman?
I'll show you.
An uncle has left me some property.
No one escapes unhappiness.
How sad to be a widow.
Better a widow than an old maid.
Is this not magnificent?
Magical.
May I have the honor, ma'am?
Victoria, the season finale on Masterpiece.
Sunday at 8 p.m. on KRWG-TV.
This is KRWG-TV News 22 Sports.
Get ready, get set. I'm Megan Millett, and let's talk sports. Tonight, you can catch the men's basketball team battling it out with Chicago State. Tip-off is set for 7 at the Pan Am. And Saturday, the Aggies will say goodbye to 5 seniors. Graduate transfer standout Zach Lofton says he is grateful for this season.
You know what I mean? And then through individuals and you know what I mean, working out with coaches after practice, learning, like watching film, taking the right shots with these guys. My field goal percentage went way up, and I think they helped me a lot with that, you know what I mean, with maturing, and that's part of my change that I needed to do.
The men aren't the only ones taking on Chicago State tonight. The women's team tips off at 6 in the Windy City. The men's team will take on UMKC Saturday at 7 for their final home game of the season. The NMSU softball team will be playing in the UTEP tournament this weekend. They will play Portland State twice and Idaho State 3 times. The Aggies are 4-3 this season, coming off of an 8-5 win against the Miners on Tuesday. For the second week in a row, Kayla Green earned WAC Pitcher of the Week honors. You can expect to see her in the circle for the Aggies this weekend. The NMSU baseball team will be hosting the Mississippi Valley State Delta Devils in a 3-game series this weekend. They will play tomorrow at 4:05, then on Saturday they'll play a doubleheader starting at 1:05. Kyle Bradish is expected to pitch on Friday for the Aggies after he got the win in his first game against Towson last week. The second half of the NBA season starts tonight. LeBron James will lead the Cavaliers against the Wizards this evening. Later at 8:30, the Warriors are playing the Clippers. Both games can be seen on TNT. And that's all for sports tonight. Join us for more sports action next week. Still ahead on News 22, Andres will be back to take a look at your 5-day forecast. But first, you may want to stop that habit of sneaking in your own movie snacks. More on that when News 22 returns.
Antiques Roadshow is checking out the antiques action in Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh my God, I got a bargain.
It is absolutely superb.
Oh. Next time from Jacksonville on Antiques Roadshow.
Monday at 8 p.m. on KRWG-TV.
Got it.
Rat Film. Monday at 9 p.m. on KRWG-TV.
Let's take a look at our top stories. Shelby Cap had an update on local school security following last week's shooting in Florida and following local threats to area schools. Shelby Montgomery took a look at construction around Las Cruces and what it means for the future of the city. And NMSU Theater of Arts only has a few performances left of their latest play. The Odyssey showings continue until February 25th.
Cinemark Theaters has a new bag policy starting today. The chain no longer allows people to bring in bags or packages bigger than 12 by 12 inches by 6 inches, but customers can still have diaper bags and medical bags. Officials with the company say the change is for safety-related reasons. Cinemark says its staff members can inspect all packages that are brought inside the building.
So we've had a chilly couple of days. Andres, tell us what our next 5 days look like.
Well, our next 5 days should be consisting of cool temperatures, but for the most part should be bright and sunny. We shouldn't go over 67 degrees and we shouldn't go under 28 degrees.
Okay, and don't forget you can catch all of today's aired stories and past newscasts on our YouTube page at youtube.com/KRWG News 22.
And follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat for show updates and the latest on what News 22 is up to.
That's all for tonight. Good night.
This news brief in Español is brought to you by Noticias 22, Spanish language news for southern New Mexico and West Texas. Noticias 22.
Buenas tardes, les saluda con mucho gusto Diana Castillo en este breve informativo de Noticias 22. Un estudiante de 18 años enfrenta un cargo por portar un arma de fuego en terreno escolar. Poco antes de que terminaran las clases del día, los administradores de la preparatoria de Las Cruces se enteraron de una publicación de la red social Snapchat. En esta publicación aparece ERNEST PADILLA sosteniendo lo que parecía ser un rifle de asalto. La fotografía contenía la leyenda Tirador de la Escuela Mexicana 2018. Los administradores alertaron al oficial de recursos escolares del Departamento de Policía de Las Cruces en el campus. La escuela fue puesta en aislamiento. Padilla fue ingresado en el centro de detención del condado de Doña Ana, donde se encuentra detenido sin derecho a fianza. El Departamento de Policía de Las Cruces recibió información sobre una posible amenaza en Centennial High School. A través de las redes sociales, después de una investigación completa, los policías determinaron que no existía ninguna amenaza. Todo se trató de una confusión que comenzó cuando un individuo publicó información falsa a través de las redes sociales. El comentario surgió después de los eventos recientes en Parkland, Florida. La policía urge que usuarios en las redes sociales no compartan estas clases de comentarios. En caso de sospecha de una amenaza, a favor de llamar a la policía en el número que aparece en pantalla. Para Noticias 22, Diana Castillo.
Local support for a portion of today's programming is provided by Wells Fargo. Our support of Aggie students goes beyond just banking. By supporting News 22, we're giving back to the community. Wells Fargo. Together, we'll go far.